Hello friends, welcome to the first class of Target Prelims 2021 Current Affairs program. We will be starting with Science and Technology, and in Science and Technology, we're dealing with Computer and IT. In Computer and IT, I'll be giving you two booklets. Today, we are dealing with the first booklet where the main topics which are being discussed are encryption, decryption, blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, supercomputers, Internet of Things, and cellular wireless communication technologies, जहाँ पे हम 1G to 5G will be discussing everything. In tomorrow's class, we'll be dealing with, in computer and IT itself, we'll be dealing with artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, all those stuff we would be covering. Now, for those of you who have done these classes with me in the past, they would find that almost 70% of the things would remain same, because again, use your common sense. UPSC have asked questions from fundamentals. So every year it is the fundamentals that I'll need to focus upon more, and then some current affairs things would be added, would be put on this. First thing was that. Now, after computer and IT, after two classes of computer and IT, on Sunday we'll be dealing with international bodies. So, as in the introductory video I have already informed, there would be two subjects going on at one go: Science and Technology and International Bodies, and after this we'll move on to Economy and Environment, Biodiversity and Climate Change. Will be going on like that. Here we'll do this class. By the end of this class, we'll also do around 20 objective questions from these topics, which include questions which have been asked in the examination by UPSC and some other questions which I have prepared. Other than this, after these three classes, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you will be given assignment. Assignment in the sense you will be given syllabus for the test that will be held next Sunday. So it would include the three booklets that we are covering here, but also some static portion. I'll recommend you to read NCERTs, class 9, class 10 NCERT of Science and Technology. That will be the part of your syllabus for the test next Sunday. I'm talking about current affairs batch. That will be part of your syllabus for the test next Sunday. Other than that, I'll also give some history portion, modern India ka portion in the syllabus for the test, so that in a systematic manner we are able to complete your whole preparation rather than focusing only on current affairs. Okay, so without wasting a lot of time, let us start with the first topic. The topic is encryption, decryption, or in general cryptography. Okay, now what do we understand by cryptography, or what do we understand by encryption? Encryption basically means कोई भी टेक्स्ट आपके पास है, let's say मयूर, converting this text into a cipher text. Cipher text would be something like this. Something like this. Someone who reads this would understand that you have written Mayur, but someone who reads this would not be able to understand what information that you are sending. This is, encryption has helped you achieve confidentiality. Suppose you want to transfer a message, you want to write the name of your boyfriend on paper and transfer it to your brother in the other room. Mummy बीच में नहीं देखे. So you will encode it. मयूर का नाम नहीं लिखेंगे. We will encode it and then send it to the other person. This is encryption. Okay, then converting this text. So you have sent it to your brother will convert this text into this to understand what name have you written. This is decryption. This is done to ensure confidentiality in the message that you are sending. No one else who is not authorized, who is not supposed to read the message, should be able to read it. Okay, now how do we achieve this? So, before getting into how do we achieve this, confidentiality is one of the key components of data security. But these days, the encryption algorithms that we have available, the cryptography mechanisms that we have available, not only provides confidentiality. Confidentiality to provide karta hi hai wo. It also provides what is known as integrity, what is known as authenticity. These are some other things which are provided by the latest algorithm. तो आप देखेंगे other than confidentiality, authentication, integrity and non-repudiation are some other aspects, some other features provided by the modern cryptographic algorithms. Okay, so we'll understand this. You have understood what is encryption and what is decryption. This you have understood. Now confidentiality, you understand. The information is confidential, it should not be read by someone who is not authorized to do it. Now I'm saying how confidentiality is ensured, that you have understood. When that text is converted into a cipher text, it is called cipher, C-I-P-H-E-R. Your normal text is converted into cipher text, it has become confidential. Okay, now I'm saying that modern cryptographic algorithms also provide you other features of data security, which include authentication. Now what is authentication? Authentication is basically that you can verify the origin of the message. That is, आपके पास कोई cipher text लिखा हुआ आया, that message has come from your brother only. How will you verify that? That is authentication. The modern cryptographic algorithm are also providing you the feature of authentication. You can authenticate that yes, the message has come from that person. You can ensure that message has not been tampered with, uska integrity has not been affected, and you can also ensure that the person who has sent it cannot say that he hasn't sent it, because only he had the capability of sending it. Non-repudiation, the sender of a message cannot deny sending of the message. The modern cryptographic algorithm provides us with confidentiality, provides us with authentication, provides us with integrity, and provides us with non-repudiation. This is understood? Now, how does it work? How does cryptography work? We would look at this. So, historically, if you would go, one of the oldest encryption mechanism was called Caesar shift algorithm. Julius Caesar wala Caesar shift algorithm. There what they used to do, suppose they use this is the text Mayur, they have to transfer this text, but they have to first convert it into cipher text. What they'll do, they'll shift every alphabet by a particular number. Let's say they'll shift every alphabet by 2. So M would become MNO, A would become C, Z would become A, U, V, X, R, S, T. If I shift every character by 2, this is the text I am getting. And when I'll be transferring this text, it's a cipher text, it doesn't have any meaning. Mayur has a meaning. This doesn't have any meaning. Okay, this was one of the earliest example of encryption. And this technique was called Caesar shift algorithm. Shift करके, दो से shift करके. So here our key was 2. So this person who is encrypting the message has to know what the key is. This person who is decrypting the message also has to know what the key is. So among these two people, the key should already be transmitted. So before transmitting the message, they should have a secure channel by which they must have transmitted the key here. And because both the person use the same key is 2. For encryption also, the person will use key 2. For decryption also, when I have to decrypt the message, when it reaches the sender, sender has to understand what the message is. He would shift everything backward by 2. So the key which is used is 2. This kind of algorithm where the same key is used for both encryption and decryption are known as symmetric key cryptography or private key cryptography. Symmetric key cryptography or private key cryptography. Understood? Because the key here has to be kept private. Whereas in preliminary examination this year, in 2020, the question was about public key cryptography, not private key crypto. We'll come to public key. Now, for those of you who may be wondering why are we studying all these things, these are all the things which have been asked in the examination. And even if they were not asked, these are some things which are very important, which are regularly in news from science and technology perspective, you should know. The first thing, this kind of cryptographic mechanism where the key is same for both encryption and decryption is known as symmetric key. So on both the sides, keys are same, symmetric key cryptography or private key cryptography, because here the key has to be kept private. Here initially you will need a secure channel. Suppose I have to communicate with Mayur or I have to communicate with Julius Caesar. We'll first meet and would say, guys, our key is 3. And then we'll not disclose this to anyone, so that Julius Caesar would send a message, you are an idiot, convert it using this key 3, would send it to me, and only I know how to reconvert it into the original message. If the key here is 2 and someone uses the key 3, will he be able to get the original message? No, he would get something random. This is private key cryptography or symmetric key cryptography. Did we understand it? We'll come to more advanced concepts like digital signature, quantum cryptography and all that, but first you should understand the basic fundamentals. Understood this? Now, this is the technique, or this is the technique which was used in the world till 1940s and 50s. This was the mechanism which was used for encrypting messages. What changed was complexity. Rather than using only one way of switching characters, we went for polyalphabetic methods. Polyalphabetic methods mein kya hota hai? Our key would be something complex. It would say that first character shifted by 3, second shifted by 4, third shifted by 7, fourth shifted by 3, fifth shifted by 7. So our key this time is more complex, but key would still be same. So here in this system, in polyalphabetic substitution, what I'll do, if I have to shift Mayur ka M by 3, M-N-O-P, it would become P. A by 4, B-C-D-E. Y by 7, I'm not getting into that detail, but this is how I'll make this conversion. This is polyalphabetic substitution. Why? Because here you have only 26 options. You will first switch it by 1, then switch it by 2, then switch it by 3, then switch it by 4, and eventually you will be able to find the original message in this Caesar shift algorithm. But here you won't be able to do that, because here this combination will be huge. Manually you won't be able to do that. Even using traditional computers you won't be able to solve it. In fact, polyalphabetic substitution was something that was used by Germans in their Enigma electromechanic rotor cipher machine, which was used in World War II. So till World War II, the mechanism that was used for encryption was symmetric key cryptography or private key cryptography, where the key that is used for encryption is same as the key that is used for decryption. From the basic single key mechanism used in Caesar shift cryptography, in the Enigma electromechanic rotor cipher we used polyalphabetic substitution, where rather than switching everything by 2 to 2, we switched it by different situations, different numbers. ये समझ में आ गया? Okay. Now all these things use the same key and they required a secure channel. But with advancement in computers, with today's computers, even this complex thing could be decrypted, like all the messages which are possible, all the permutations and combination of keys which are possible could be used, and with today's computers that thing is easily breakable. Earlier, till 1950s, encryption, decryption were mostly used by government and defense forces. They were not used by the common people like us. But today, almost all of us use advanced encryption technologies. That has been made possible because of asymmetric cryptography or public key cryptography. अभी तक हमने क्या पढ़ा है? अभी तक we have studied symmetric key cryptography or private key cryptography, where the key for encryption and decryption were same. Now we want to study asymmetric key cryptography or public key cryptography, something that was asked in the examination this year. Public key infrastructure एक क्वेश्चन था, वो किससे रिलेटेड है? क्वेश्चन वाज दिस सिंपल. तो पब्लिक की क्रिप्टोग्राफी और पब्लिक asymmetric क्रिप्टोग्राफी क्या है? लेट्स गो बैक टू Mayur has to be converted into a ciphertext. Mayur has to be converted into a ciphertext. Here, encryption uses a key 1, decryption uses a key 2. The key for encryption and decryption are different, asymmetric. Why it is being called asymmetric key cryptography? Please understand that. The key for encryption and decryption are different. Okay, now in this situation what is generally done is one of the keys is made public. One of the keys is made public. For example, suppose I am the sender and this person is receiver. Suppose this is the situation. Now I want that when I am sending a message, people should be able to ensure that message has come from only me. So what I'll do is I'll make this key 2 public. Key 1, which is used to encrypt the message, would remain with me. It's private. It's not there with anyone. So I will encrypt the message and I'll send the message. Key 2 is public, is available with everyone. This person will receive the message. He has key 2. Using that message, he would convert the message into original message and would feel and would say, yeah, I have received the message, and can also ensure that message has come from this person, because only this person had the private key from which that message could have been encrypted. No one else had the private key. Only this person had the private key, or key 1, this person, key 2 was public, was available with everyone, and this way this was ensured. This is public key cryptography. It can be other way also, like suppose the key which is used to decrypt the message is made private. Key which is used to decrypt the message is made private. So I am, let's say I am receiver this time. I am receiver and there is this sender. I want that the messages which are being sent to me should only be read by me, no one else. At that time what I'll do, I'll make one key which is used to encrypt the message public and will give to all of you. You encrypt the message using that key. The ciphertext will come to me. The decryption key, the private key, is only with me. Only I will be able to read the messages. So you can all send messages to me, but if his message is read by this person, it would not matter. This person would not be able to decrypt it because the private key is only with me. Okay, so this kind of cryptography where encryption key and decryption key are different is known as asymmetric key cryptography or public key cryptography, because one of the keys is made public. Here one of the keys is made public, and here a secure channel is also not required. In the asymmetric key cryptography, a secure channel was required to transfer the key. But in asymmetric key cryptography, a secure channel is not required. Why is it not required? Because the key that has to be given is made public to everyone. So this is public key cryptography or asymmetric key cryptography. I hope you have been able to understand this. Now, some of the algorithms which use the public key cryptography techniques are digital signature algorithm or RSA algorithm or AES. These are some of the asymmetric key algorithm के examples. Symmetric में we looked at Caesar shift algorithm, polyalphabetic substitution algorithm. Those are, so these names you do not have to cram, but if you have read it once or twice, and if by extreme chances it gets asked in the examination, you should be able to say, no, digital signature is public key, AES is public key, RSA is public key cryptography. Okay, now because of the coming of public key cryptography, where is cryptography used today? Which are the areas where cryptography is used today? Wherever you are having digital data. Tell me one place where you are having digital data where there we are using cryptography. My this phone, it's using cryptography. My this phone, it's using cryptography. This machine, it's using cryptography. It is storing the information that it has in encrypted form. The communication which is happening between two phones is using cryptography. The emails, it's using cryptography. The sky drive or the cloud pay, the things that you are storing, it's using cryptography. Communication that is taking place between satellites, it's using cryptography. Generally, if a question would be asked, in which of the following areas cryptography is being used? Answer would be D, all 1, 2, 3 and 4. Answer would be D, because in almost every field we are using cryptography. Okay, in health sector are we using cryptography? Yes, in health sector we may be using computers. We are using communications. We may be using cryptography. In education are we using cryptography? Yes, we are. Cryptography is securing your data. Wherever there is data, wherever you have digital data, you are securing it. You are using cryptography. So here we have listed certain areas where cryptography is being used. For example, here we are saying that in the commercial and consumer realms to protect data both while it is being sent across a network and stored. When the data is either being transmitted or being stored. In both the situation we'll use cryptography. So it can be in hard drive, it can be in smartphone, it can be in flash drive, it can be in modern set-top boxes, smart cards, SIM cards. In all these places we use cryptography. And modern cryptography is not only providing you confidentiality, it is also providing you authentication, integrity, non-repudiation. Did you understand how public key cryptography would provide authentication? If the decryption key is public and I am sending a message, you are receiving it, you are decrypting it. Only I have the private key. It's ensuring that authentication, the message can only come from Santosh sir because only he has the private key using which encryption could be done. Got it? Now a question comes in the mind of students. Sir, what is the relation between key 1 and key 2? Can we not derive one key from another key? One key you have made public, another key you have kept with yourself. But that private key, it must be related to public key. Only then we are able to encrypt with using one key, decrypt using other key. It must be related. Can we not derive? Let's say key 1 is public. Let's say key 1 is private. Let's say key 1 is private. And key 2 is public. Can using key 2 I derive key 1? If this can happen, then our public key cryptography algorithm would break. Can this happen? It requires a lot of processing, and current computers, current computer power that we have does not have that processing. So basically key 1 and key 2, you can get one key from another key by solving some problems which are currently NP hard problems. So for those of you who are from computer science may understand, NP hard problems are something which cannot be solved in polynomial time frame, or which cannot be solved in realistic time. It may take 10,000 years or 15,000 years or hundreds of years using the current computer processing powers. But in future, when we develop quantum computing, when we have quantum computers, then public key cryptography, which is being used everywhere right now, will just break down. So once your processing powers of your computer increase drastically, quantum computers, we will study quantum computers tomorrow. Quantum computers are supposed to have a lot of processing power. Once we are able to develop that, then public key cryptography would not be able to function. Right now it is able to function. Right now, this is public key cryptography is the the mechanism by which the whole encryption system and the whole data security system functions. This was an important thing that we should have understood. Okay, now let's come to the next topic, digital signature. In cryptography itself, we are understanding the topic digital signature. Now, what is digital signature? What is digital signature? Digital signature is a encryption method or mathematical tool. Encryption में हम क्या कर रहे हैं? Mathematics से use कर रहे हैं. It's a mathematical technique which is used to authenticate and ensure integrity of any message, any information, any document that you are sending. I'll again give you an example and explain. Suppose you are filing your UPSC notification has come. No. Once UPSC notification would come, you will submit your details to UPSC. Or if any of you file GST returns, there when I'm filing my GST return, when I'm filing my when I'm submitting my details, the data that I'm submitting, digital signature mechanism will ensure that the data is coming from only me, not from anyone else. Authentication, and the data is not modified by the time it reaches the government. Integrity. Digital signature is this. Now, please understand, here we are not talking about you take a sign, then you take a photo and then you upload that photo. That's not digital signature that we are talking about. In UPSC forms we do this. हम अपने sign का photo लेके चिपका देते हैं, right? That is not the digital signature that we are talking about. Here, this is a mathematical tool. Now, how does it work? अच्छा, before how does it work? Did you understand क्या बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं मैं? Digital signature क्या होता है? Let's look at its definition also. It's a mathematical technique that is used to validate the authenticity and integrity of a message, software or digital document. Anything that you are sending online, using digital signature, you can validate its authenticity and its integrity. Okay, now it offers features like evidence of origin, identity, status. We will understand all these things. But first of all, let's understand how digital signature functions. Digital signature काम कैसे कर रहा है? Suppose I have this document that I have to send. Here is this individual, and let's say here is government, which has to receive this doc from me. Digital signature mechanism will ensure कि ये securely is reaching government. So in digital signature, what happens? First, there's a technique called hashing, H-A-S-H-I-N-G. Using that, अच्छा, by the way, digital signature also uses public key cryptography. हमने भी public key cryptography पढ़ा है. Digital signature will also use public key cryptography. So first, what it does is, in digital signature, what we do is, we convert this doc into a one-way hash. मतलब इस document को, this digital data को we convert into a small code. 10110011. It's a one-way code. That is, whenever you will have exactly same data, you will get this code only. From this code, you cannot derive the whole data. But this data will give you this code. This data can be converted into this code. This data could be encoded in this code. First, we derive this hash using a hashing algorithm. Then, using the public key cryptography, I will have private key of my digital signature. In this digital signature algorithm, I'll have the private key. I will convert this using the private key. Using the private key, I'll convert this into another encoded form, let's say. This is my digital signature. Now the document that I want to send, uske niche I'll also attach this document and this digital signature. I've attached this digital signature with this document. Along with the digital signature, I also attach the hashing algorithm which I have used. Now, when this message reaches the authorities, they have received this message, this doc and this 1100110001. This, they have received this. They have to ensure that it has come from Santosh only, the guy who is saying that it has come from him, and it has not been modified in any way. So what they'll do, they'll convert this doc by using hashing using hash. They'll convert this doc into the encoded form. ये थोड़ा दूर ला देते हैं. 1011011. Encoded form में convert करेंगे. They'll convert this digital signature that has been added here. They will decrypt it. यहाँ पे encryption हुआ था private key के साथ. Public keys with everyone. They will decrypt it. Once they decrypt it, encryption से ही बना था, decryption से ये बनना चाहिए, है ना? 10110011. If both these things are same, then no one has tampered with the message has come from me because only I have the private key, only I could have sent it, and the message has not been tampered. Because if the message would have been tampered, if the doc would have been tampered, then I would not have got this hash. I would not have got this hash because with that particular document has given me that hash. Some tampering with the document would have given me some other hash. तो इसको हैश करके और इसको डिक्रिप्ट करके जो मैसेज आ रहा है अगर सेम है, then authenticity as well as integrity is ensured. For those of you who haven't been able to understand it, please go back 10 minutes back and re-watch the video. This is how digital signature works. Exactly how digital signature is functioning. If these two are not matching, your digital signature algorithm would say, no, someone has tampered with the document. Because it's not matching. If I have tampered with the document, let's say I have modified something here, this may be coming like this. दोनों match नहीं करेंगे. What is this? This is hash of the document, hash of the document. उसी को हमने encrypt करके ये key बनाया था. जब से decrypt करेंगे तो we should get hash of the document only. These two things should match. See, tens of people will teach you digital signature, but no one would explain you how internally digital signature is functioning. Once you understand internally how digital signature has functioned, any question which UPSC asks, you'll be able to answer it. Now, let's go back to our notes. Here we were saying it offers security features like evidence of origin. Did we get evidence of origin? It must have originated from Santosh only because only he had private key. No one else had the private key. Identity. It can only come from that person because only he has the private key. Status. All those aspects. Right? Of an electronic document, transaction or message and can thus acknowledge informed consent by the signer. When using digital signature, I am sending something. I have said that I am agreeing to this detail. Then it's also proving informed consent. When I am submitting some, they say I use digital signature. While filing GST every month, Like in an organization, in a company, you have to every month file GST return. At that time, I use my digital signature. Because I have used my digital signature, tomorrow I cannot go to government and say, I did not send it, I did not sign it. Government would say, no, only you have that digital signature. Right? Now, how does it work? वही वाली चीज यहाँ पे भी explained है. I have explained you on the board. First, hashing algorithm. You got a hash. That hash is encrypted. That is the key that has been created and added to the document. Document hash created. This signature decrypted. Hash should match. If it match, no tampering has occurred. If it doesn't match, tampering has occurred. Where can it be used? Anywhere where you are sending any digital data or document or software, anything that you're sending digitally, you can use hash to deal with it. Oh, sorry, you can use a digital signature to ensure authenticity, ensure integrity. We'll look at a question. Give me 10 minutes. Let me take another topic. After that, we'll look at 6-7 questions related to encryption which have been asked in the examination. Like till 2017-18, no, I used to teach it for the sake of completion. That nahi, mujhe pura syllabus complete karke dena hai. But since 2019-2020, UPSC has regularly asked questions on cryptography. 2019 mein there was a question on digital signature. 2020 mein there was a question on public key infrastructure. So we'll look at that. But before that, let's understand what is end-to-end encryption. WhatsApp provides us end-to-end encryption. Okay, first let us understand end-to-end encryption, and then we'll understand, even after end-to-end encryption, why did chats of Arnav Goswami or Deepika Padukone or Sushant Singh Rajput, how could those be leaked? So first let us understand what is end-to-end encryption, because this is a term that has been in news a lot. So we must understand it. See, this is my mobile device and this is Mayur's mobile device. For those of you who are wondering who Mayur is a friend of mine who's helping me record these classes and is sitting in the class. So that is the name I got here. So these are our mobile devices. On WhatsApp, when I'm sending a message to Mayur, tum gadhe ho. When I'm sending this message is getting encoded on my device only. And when it is being transmitted, it will also go to Facebook server. WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. So it will go to WhatsApp server. Even WhatsApp doesn't know what the message is. WhatsApp will get cipher text. The internet service provider, let's say Airtel pe hum bhej rahe apna, using Airtel data services, we are sending our message. Even internet service provider would not know what is the message. They will get cipher text. The encryption of the message would happen right here in the device, at this end. And decryption of the message would happen at this end. End-to-end encryption. No one in between, be it internet service provider, be it Facebook, be it WhatsApp, be it government, no one in between would be able to read the message. This is end-to-end encryption. Okay, if you have WhatsApp, there, if you go to any individual's account, you'll be like when you start chatting with someone, वो पहले एक ऊपर message आता है कि this message is secured by end-to-end encryption, something like this. Like my phone is off right now. If you'll go to more details, you'll also be able to see the key using which you are communicating with the other person. Other person is also communicating with you using the same key. To ensure that only you people would be able to read the messages among two of you. This is end-to-end encryption. Now, for end-to-end encryption also, public key cryptography is used. You may be saying, sir, hum dono ke, like, let me take out. If you have, like, for those of you who have WhatsApp with you right now, if you'll open WhatsApp, open anyone's account, you'll be able to see that there's a code given associated with every individual's account. and that is the code using which you are encrypting your message and the other person is decrypting the message. But वो कोड आपके मशीन में लाने के लिए पब्लिक की क्रिप्टोग्राफी मैकेनिज्म हैव बीन यूज्ड. नाउ कमिंग टू WhatsApp encryption. What is WhatsApp using? What mechanism is WhatsApp using? So WhatsApp is using signal protocol which has been developed by Open Whisper system. We do not have to get into the details of this. See, UPSC have asked public key cryptography क्या होता है. They haven't asked signal protocol के अंदर क्या हो रहा है. And they would not even ask it. They'll never ask it. I studied signal protocol in my 4th year when I did a specialized course on cryptography. I'm a computer science graduate. In 4th year, I did a 6-month course on cryptography. Then I had studied all these things. So UPSC doesn't expect you to know all these things. Just know factual thing that signal protocol developed by Open Whisper system is something that WhatsApp is using to ensure end-to-end encryption in their devices, in their tools. Now, why were recent leaks possible? जब end-to-end encryption हो रहा है तो सुशांत सिंह और बाकी लोगों के कम्युनिकेशन, why could those be leaked? Because you take a backup on Google Drive or iDrive होता है क्या? iCloud. You take backups there. जैसे if you use WhatsApp, like in my case, every day at 2 a.m. in the morning, backup takes place. So whenever I switch on my WhatsApp at exactly 2 a.m., no, it would show that backup is taking place. So that backup is being stored in your Google Drive and that is not encrypted वहां पे. So someone can hack into that, look into that. If you are not taking any backup, you don't have to worry about. No one would be able to get it. If no one is able to get into your, like if someone can hack into your phone, encryption is taking place in your phone, decryption is taking place in your phone, then someone would be able to get your messages. But when in end-to-end encryption, when the message is being transmitted from this computer to other person's computer, in between this, someone reads the message, that person would not be able to decrypt it. Okay, now let's go to the last topic of this thing, encryption, that is quantum cryptography or quantum key distribution. Okay, now quantum cryptography or quantum key distribution was also in news recently. June May, there's a Chinese satellite, Missyus. It was successfully able to establish quantum communication between two ground stations. What I'm saying is, there is this satellite Missyus. On Earth, there are two ground stations. Between them, communication using quantum cryptography was made possible by this satellite Missyus. So we'll understand what this satellite did, but before that, let us understand what is quantum cryptography. We have understood public key cryptography, private key cryptography, public key cryptography. Let us understand what is quantum cryptography. Now, in quantum cryptography, the message is made secure by principles of quantum mechanics. Principles of quantum mechanics. So we will study quantum mechanics. We will study quantum mechanics in much more detail towards, like in our 9th or 10th class for science and technology, we will be dealing with physics, topics related to physics, and there we will be dealing with quantum mechanics in more details. There we will understand various principles of quantum mechanics also. But one of the principles in quantum mechanics that we want to understand here is Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. It is this principle which is used for quantum cryptography. What is Heisenberg uncertainty principle? In your notes it's written, Heisenberg uncertainty principle is written. Try to understand. Heisenberg uncertainty principle says that if there is a quantum particle, electron, proton, photon, quantum particles are those particles which are of very small size. If there's an electron or if there's a photon, a quantum particle, Heisenberg uncertainty principle says that it is not possible, even theoretically it is not possible to know both location as well as speed. To know both location as well as speed of that particle. If you will try to know the location, its speed would change. You would not be able to know the speed. If you will try to know the speed, its location would change. So basically, if there's an electron, you cannot simultaneously know both its speed and location, both its velocity and location. This is Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which is valid at quantum levels. Now, if there's a bus going, you can say, okay, bus is here right now and its speed is this. Because quantum mechanics principle are not valid on it. Quantum mechanics principle work at very small level on a photon or on an electron. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which is one of the principles under quantum mechanics, says that you cannot know both speed and location of an electron or a photon or a quantum particle at one go. Even theoretically, it's not possible. So in quantum cryptography, what is done? In quantum cryptography, on photons, message is encoded, and this photon, this message is sent to receiver. And suppose Mayur wants to read it in between. Mayur wants to read it in between. The moment Mayur would want to read the photon, read the information would change. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. The moment you want to know the speed, you are changing the location. The moment you are wanting to know the location, you are changing the speed. It's not possible to know both speed and location at the same time. So, if you encode the information in these quantum properties and someone tries to read it, the information would change. This is the quantum principle which is used. This is the quantum mechanics principle which is used in quantum cryptography. Fine. समझ में आया क्या है quantum cryptography? It is using Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Let us go back to the notes. Basics. It is exploiting counterintuitive behavior of elementary particle called photon. Counterintuitive behavior, क्या counterintuitive behavior? It's not possible to know both location and speed. ये counterintuitive है हमारे लिए. Why? Because we see a bus and we know its speed, we know its location. Why are you saying it's not possible? Because at quantum level it's not possible. So that's why it's counterintuitive. So this quantum cryptography exploits this quantum intuitive behavior. How quantum mechanics is used? It uses Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and if on photon information would be sent, if the eavesdropper tries to read the message, reads the information which is there, it would destroy a part of the information. Hence, eavesdropping causes errors in transmission line. Anyone who's trying to read the message would cause error in the transmission line. So not only has he read the wrong message because message has changed, transmission line mein error has been caused, the sender and receiver would know that someone was trying to read our message and they'll discard that thing. They would know that it has been modified. It's not our original message. And they'll try to resend it. If an eavesdropper conventionally called Eve tries to determine the key, she'll be detected. Acha, by the way, generally quantum cryptography is used to transfer the key. अच्छा यहाँ पे भी एक fundamental चीज आपको समझाते हैं पहले. When it comes to computer science, no, मेरी भावनाएं ज़्यादा जाग जाती हैं. I try to, like, rather than making anything superficial, no, I try to make you people understand the fundamentals. One of the principles in mathematics is this. See, using a key, you have converted a text into another text. Is it possible to determine the key using the text that you have? Like it is said that it won't be possible to decrypt the message if your key size, one of the principle is if your key size is as large as the text size. If the key size is less than text size, then mathematically some pattern could be found. But if your key ka size, which is used to do the conversion, is as large as the message size, then you will never be able to find a pattern and revert the thing. So larger the size of the key, more secure is your information. So in quantum cryptography, generally we use quantum cryptography to transmit the key, and that's why it is also known as quantum key distribution. Here we are distributing the key. एक बड़ा सा key भेजेंगे दूसरे person को. Second person has received the key, large key, fine. Now we can keep sending that person messages as large as the key size, and our message would be secured. Mathematically, it would not be possible to get back the message. Okay, so that's why coming back to this, यहां पे हम बोल रहे कि if we are transferring our key using quantum cryptography mechanism, then if eavesdropper tries to read the key would change. We would also know that someone has tried to interfere. We would reinitiate our communication. Okay, now there are some advantages. It can distribute long key as often as possible. Any size of key we can distribute it as often as possible. Plus it ensures long-term secrecy. Long-term secrecy it is ensuring. Is public key cryptography not ensuring long-term secrecy? Public key cryptography is not ensuring that. Why? Suppose I am sending a message to Mayur right now, and that is encrypted. You read the message, but you do not have the decryption key. You cannot decrypt it. Only Mayur has the decryption key. But that is the scenario today. 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, using key 1 which is public, you can get no key 2. Once the computer power or computer capability increases, using one key which is public, you can get to know second key. So 20 years down the line, your today's messages that you are sending are not secure. But in quantum cryptography, if someone is reading my message, will he be able to decrypt this message 20 years down the line? No, because he hasn't been able to read my message. The moment he tried to read my message, the message has changed. So he doesn't have my message, which in case of public key cryptography, he had it. Only that he was not able to decrypt it. But in quantum key cryptography, he doesn't have the message at all. Got it? Pakka? So these are the two key advantages of quantum cryptography over other kinds of cryptography. Right now we haven't got into details of quantum computing and all. We'll come to that too here, because in the first topic our focus was on cryptography, so we have only dealt with fundamentals of cryptography. Okay, now we'll go towards the end of these notes and try to solve some questions. One by one we'll go. Okay, you'll start. First question, consider the following statements. End-to-end encryption in WhatsApp doesn't leave any scope for leaking of data. End-to-end encryption is more secure than quantum cryptography. Yes. D. Both are incorrect. End-to-end encryption does not leave any superficial data. It's a very, I think, extreme statement. We have seen end-to-end encryption maybe when someone hacks into your device on Google Drive, you can get it. And end-to-end encryption is more secure than quantum cryptography? No. Quantum cryptography is the most secure one. End-to-end encryption may be using public key cryptography. Right now it is using public key cryptography. It's not secure enough. So here answer would be D. Answer would be both incorrect. I hope all of you are able to understand it. जिन्हें समझ में नहीं भी आ रहा है, on Tuesday we'll keep a doubt session, live Zoom doubt session. There we will try to answer this. In India, the term public key infrastructure is used in the context of a digital security infrastructure. So this was a very simple question, public key infrastructure. But I'll tell you this, other than our class notes, no one had studied public key cryptography. No one had studied. लोग cryptography पढ़ भी रहे थे तो वो normal cryptography पढ़ रहे थे. Private key cryptography, public key cryptography, symmetric, asymmetric, no one used to study. But it's always important to understand the fundamentals. It simplifies your life like anything. Only our students would have been able to do it. Okay, so here answer would be A. Question number 3. Encryption technologies have applications in which of the following? All? Satellite navigation system, hard drive, internet communication, mobile SIM cards, ATM card. Everywhere it would be used? Okay. Caesar shift cipher is an example of symmetric key cryptography. It's a symmetric. See, because we understand what symmetric key cryptography is, and because we understand what Caesar shift algorithm is, those are very basic things. We are able to solve it. The moment we had not studied it, you would see that you would have felt like abhi kuch complex pucha hua hai. These are very simple things. Okay, question number 5. Which of the following data security features are provided by modern encryption technologies? Again, all. We have seen confidentiality, authentication, integrity, non-repudiation. All these things are provided by the modern encryption technologies. Okay. Question number 6. Consider the following statements about digital signature. Prelims 2019 में पूछा गया था digital signature पे ये question. Okay, an electronic record that identifies the certifying authority issuing it. Which of the statement given above is correct? An electronic record that identifies the certifying authority issuing it. See, when I'm sending a document to government, is it identifying me कि हाँ संतोष ने भेजा है? Right? So, an electronic record that identifies the certifying authority issuing it. Got it? How is this correct? Now you understand it? The document that I had added a signature to it, which was hash of the document encrypted. That was the signature. I added that signature. When the person who got it created hash of the document, decrypted this, if both are same, then the message must have come from me because only I have the private key. One of the assumptions in digital signature system is that the person has not disclosed this private key to anyone. The moment my private key is disclosed to anyone else, anyone would be able to send those messages. That is the assumption. Using this assumption, an electronic record that identifies the certifying authority issuing it is digital signature this? Yes. Second, used to serve as a proof of identity of an individual to access information of server or internet. Can this be the case? See, when I am submitting my document to government, I am allowed to access that place to submit my document because digital signature use karke I am ensuring that I am that individual. Authenticity is being ensured. Identity is being ensured. Only then I am able to access it. Otherwise, I would not have been allowed to submit the document there. Third, an electronic method of signing an electronic document and ensuring that the original content is unchanged. Integrity. This is also correct. Now, would you agree that we had to understand digital signature more fundamentally? Otherwise, solving this question would not have been possible. If we superficially study it, it's a mechanism to ensure integrity and authenticity. That will not solve the purpose. In mains examination, we'll only write this, a simple definition and some applications. But preliminary examinations since last 3 years have become more and more difficult, and especially the science paper is more and more technical. I never imagined that they would ask RNA interference technology in 2019, but they asked RNA interference technology. Okay, in the same way, they're going in more depth to understand your fundamentals, to test your fundamentals. We should be prepared for that. So here answer would be 1, 2 and 3, answer would be D. I hope you're able to understand it, because UPSC is not going to repeat the same questions, but it is going to repeat the same fundamentals. Do you understand the principle of digital signature or not? They asked digital signature in 2013 mains, they asked digital signature in 2019 prelims. अब जैसे वो है CRISPR, they asked CRISPR in 2018, they asked CRISPR in 2019, in 2020 they haven't asked. देखना फिर पूछ लेंगे इस बार the Nobel Prize for Chemistry has been given to CRISPR. So, but we have to understand, when we'll study CRISPR, we'll understand the fundamentals of CRISPR. Okay, ये समझ में आया? Okay, now let's go to consider the following statements about quantum cryptography. Quantum cryptography uses the Heisenberg uncertainty principle to ensure security. Yes, we know what Heisenberg uncertainty principle is. Second, it ensures long-term secrecy, which may not be ensured by traditional symmetric and asymmetric cryptographic algorithm. Both symmetric and asymmetric cannot ensure long-term security. It ensures long-term security कि तुम read भी कर लो, you haven't been able to read. It's like someone who's reading my message. When I was transmitting a note to my brother, my mother is taking it, the note automatically is modified. It's something like this would happen here. If someone is trying to read the message is modified. The person doesn't have the message. So long-term secrecy has been ensured. So what would be the answer here? D. C. Both are correct. Yeah. Blockchain. Let's go to our next topic. Blockchain. We'll start with blockchain. Now, what is blockchain? So, blockchain is first of all, it's a ledger. It's a database. Ledger. Do you understand what ledger is? Bahi khata. The shopkeepers, like my father owned a grocery, so he had this thick ledger. उसे खाता बोलते थे या बही बोलते थे, where he recorded transactions. So blockchain is a database of transaction. First thing, blockchain is a database of transaction. It is recording transactions, but it's not only a simple database of transaction, it's a incorruptible, decentralized, digital database of transactions. Incorruptible, decentralized, digital database of transactions. Okay, let me explain this in a simpler way. Nice music. कहाँ से आ रहा है? Okay. Let's say a transaction, suppose there are a company has issued 100 shares, right? In the beginning, all 100 shares would be with the company, but then those shares would be sold to different people, would buy those shares. So who has those shares? Who had those shares in the past? All those things could be stored in a khata book, in a ledger. In blockchain, how would that be stored? Every transaction would be stored in what is known as a block. Here you'll have this transaction. Let's say first from the company, Santosh bought share 1 to share 100 hai. Then Santosh sold this share 1 to Mayur. This is the transaction that it has stored. Okay, in the same way, there would be more transaction. Blockchain. Chain of blocks, chain of these blocks of transaction. Every block is connected to previous block and block next to it. So abhi yahan pe from Santosh the share 1 went to Mayur. Mayur will sell it to, let's say Mayur will sell it to Sugandha. It would be stored here. So now in this system we would know that who has share 1 of that company. Sugandha has share 1 of the company. This is blockchain. It has stored transaction. But if you would want to know the history of share 1, you would be able to know. इससे पहले it was with Mayur, Mayur से पहले it was with Santosh, Santosh से पहले it was with company. Company ने issue ही वो किया था. Simple. What is blockchain? But there are some more things. Now this information which is stored here, ये तो एक simple information storage का तरीका हो गया. The same information would be stored in millions of computers. So it's a distributed. Let me simplify this blockchain as this. This big structure that I had just created, I'm simplifying it as this. This is stored in computer 1, but the same information is also stored in computer 2. Same information is also stored in computer 3. Same information is also stored in computer 4, 5 and computer 1 million. Same information is stored in all the computers. Now you come back to the adjectives. It's a digital ledger, वो तो समझ में आ गया, digital ही है. It's a decentralized. Did you understand decentralized? The same information stored in, like there's no centralized place which is controlling the information. The same information is there in all the systems and it's incorruptible. Let's understand the principle of incorruptibility. How is this incorruptible? How is this incorruptible? Incorruptible ऐसे है, suppose a hacker comes. Hacker comes, now the hacker cannot possibly access all these million computers at one go. Because the vulnerability, someone has not updated the software, the Windows. That's why that person's computer is being able to, is hacked. That vulnerability would not be there in all the millions of computers. A hacker would be able to hack 1 or 2 devices. And suppose there he modifies this. The share 1 from Sugandha has gone to Monica. Share 1 from Sugandha has gone to Monica. Suppose this is something that the hacker does. But in only 2 computers the hacker would be able to do it. In remaining 9,99,998 computers, he would not be able to do it. So the system would see, oh, the transaction, only 2 things have been modified. Someone has tried to interfere with it. Ignore it, give them the data which we all have, and thus corrupting or hacking this system is also difficult. Incorruptible. So what is blockchain? Blockchain is incorruptible distributed ledger or database of transactions. Incorruptible distributed database of transactions. Did you get it? Did you all get it? What is blockchain? Pakka blockchain sabko samajh mein aaya? We'll understand its purpose, its applications in various fields. UPSC has focused a lot on applications. Generally answer ABCD ho raha hai. It has focused a lot on applications. So we'll understand its application, but for understanding application, you should have a structure in your brain. Series of transactions, all the previous transactions, future transactions जो होंगे वो add होते जाएंगे. The same information stored in computer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now when the new transaction happens, Sugandha has the shares. She wants to sell it to Monica. Sugandha, when she initiates the transaction would be completed when all those computers have updated themselves. Then transaction would be considered complete. Okay, so see, different computers having the same information. You want to add one more transaction. This transaction will have to be approved. These changes have to be made in all the computers. Then that transaction would be added in the blockchain, and then transaction would be complete. Now, what is the purpose? Like, blockchain is clear to all of you. I'm hoping you have understood this. Now, here in your notes, I have explained these things only. Block kya hota hai, chain kya hota hai. I have explained you all those stuff. Now, advantages of blockchain. Suppose today government starts putting all their details on blockchain. Suppose the money has to be transferred from government to state government, central government to state government to district magistrate to village sarpanch account. Suppose this has to be the flow. अगर ये सब हम ब्लॉकचेन पे स्टोर करने लगे, मनी सेंटर से मनी 1 went to state, money 1.1 went to district magistrate, money 1.1.1 went to panchayat, will it not provide us transparency? How did the flow of money occur? Blockchain can be public. Blockchain can be public means this blockchain is available to everyone, available for everyone to see. Villagers would be able to see money has come to your account 7 days back, but you have still not started the construction of this particular thing. तो एक वो एडवांटेज होता है ट्रस्ट या इंक्रीज ट्रांसपेरेंसी वाला. दूसरा एडवांटेज है इनकरप्टिबिलिटी. नो वन वुड बी एबल टू मॉडिफाई इट, नो वन वुड बी एबल टू हैक इनटू इट एंड देन मॉडिफाई. देयर कम्स सिक्योरिटी एज वेल. इनकरप्टिबिलिटी से ही सिक्योरिटी आ रहा है. It's secure. This is a database which is secure. If I'm storing all these transactions in my Excel file, someone can hack into my Excel file, my computer can crash, something may go wrong. Even if I've stored it on cloud, someone can hack into the cloud and destroy it. But when something is distributed in millions of computers, even if at one computer it is destroyed, it will not be destroyed in millions of other computers. So it has a built-in robustness, it has transparency, it has incorruptibility. It's a permanent ledger. It is not something that will get destroyed. Even future transactions are kept in the storage. Then it reduces the role of intermediary. In all these things, when I spoke about in the beginning, I spoke about shares of a company. Did we need stock exchange? No. Did we need intermediaries in between who take their share? हर transaction पे मुझे इतना cut दे दो. No. The role of intermediaries reduced and the things become fast track. Speeds up the process and lowers transaction cost. Intermediaries ऐसे ही हटेंगे because it's digital, process would be fast, and because there are lesser intermediaries, the cost would be lesser. Cost of transaction on this kind of system would be lesser. So application may I have listed all these applications so that in each application you can understand कि क्या हो रहा है, because blockchain is emerging as another big technology field which is going to revolutionize a lot of things. That's why World Economic Forum recently has released a bills of right for blockchain. That is something that we'll be covering it. That is something because of which it is in news. But अगर news में नहीं भी होता मैं तब भी blockchain पढ़ाता, because it is something that can be asked by UPSC. So what are the different applications? Economy, financial transactions. I talked about stock exchange, shares, but instead of shares, let's say those were cryptocurrencies. Instead of shares, those were cryptocurrencies. A company is releasing 100 cryptocurrency. That cryptocurrency could be managed through a blockchain database. Where is cryptocurrency 1? Where is cryptocurrency 2? How did transaction take place? Where did transaction take place? A central distributed ledger, a distributed blockchain can act as the system using which you can manage those cryptocurrencies. Shares, you can using blockchain, you can do that. Or anything जहाँ पे कोई भी transaction हो रहा है, you can use blockchain for using it. Now, this mechanism will be faster. It will provide for cheaper settlement. Like right now, when some transactions have to be made, वो बैंक में पैसा जाता है, बैंक approval होता है, it goes to the other person. Those limitations are there, but those things could be done away with completely. Stocks, mutual funds, bonds, pension funds, everywhere this mechanism could be used. Then automotives, let's say अभी जब driverless cars आ जाएंगे, in driverless cars same car could be used by 10 different people. Why? That car has dropped me to office. It's a driverless car, it may go to other person. So in that situation also they say that all the transaction, car for 1 hour was with user 1, for another 1 hour was with user 2, for another 1 hour was with user 3. They also put all those transactions on the blockchain. This blockchain is accessible to all the users of the cars, of that particular car. They would know transparently who has used how much, who has to pay how much, all those kind of things. Then public ledger information, like government of India, suppose it wants to create a database of all the citizens of the country. Why not go for blockchain? Blockchain mechanism, store all the information there. When voting has to happen, using my blockchain ID, why can't I vote from my phone only? It can allow that. Using blockchain ID of the ledger that is there, I am voting. On the database, it would be shown that, okay, this person has voted. So chances of fraud, chances of duplicate voting, all those things can also be reduced. Then healthcare. Healthcare, see, I suffered from many diseases in childhood. ऐसा नहीं हुआ, but suppose that was the case. So when I go to a new doctor, there's a doctor says, अपनी previous history दिखाओ. If all that information was available on the blockchain, I would have privately shared that information with the doctor. When I was 3, I suffered from this. When I was 7, I suffered from this. When I was 11, I suffered from this. When I was 14, I suffered from this. देख ले भैया मेरी previous history, अब बता आप treatment कैसे करेगा. But in health sector also, because of having proper database, so any area whatsoever, again, can use blockchain. Because no matter what you are doing, if there are two people, husband wife हैं, उनके बीच में भी transaction हो रहा है, they can do it on blockchain. Getting my point? So in exam, go for a broad perspective. When you have to attempt a question about application, blockchain का application इनमें से कहाँ हो सकता है, जहां भी transaction को store करना है आपको, वहां हो सकता है. Got it? Like in the household, suppose मेरी wife है और हम लोग 100 रुपए spend करना चाह रहे हैं, 1 रुपए मैंने spend किया, वो यहाँ गया, something like this, we can keep it on blockchain. Okay, now secure file storage. Right now when we store file, even in Drive, it is risky. But if we'll start storing file on blockchain, same file will be stored on millions of computers. Ensuring what? Ensuring security. That file will not be destroyed. Right now I make my notes and those notes are on my computer and on OneDrive. मेरा कंप्यूटर क्रैश हो गया और OneDrive भी क्रैश हो गया किसी दिन, तो मैं 5 साल से जो नोट्स बना रहा हूं सब चला जाएगा. But if the same thing was on blockchain, it's there, it would be there on millions of computers. It would not go anywhere. So through all these examples, I hope you have understood the overall idea. जहां भी transaction हो रहा है, आपको previous record रख के फायदा होगा. You can keep that on a new kind of database. Blockchain is a new kind of database in a way. Okay, and there are different areas, different fields where blockchain could be used. This is supply chain auditing. In supply chain auditing, we say that someone is, a shopkeeper is telling you, this is organic food. The apple that I'm selling you is organic. You take that apple and suppose all the previous transaction of that apple has been put on the blockchain. You go to the blockchain and see, oh, this shopkeeper bought this apple from this wholesale dealer. Does this wholesaler dealer deal in organic food? This wholesale dealer bought it from this big trader. This big trader bought it from this farmer. Is that farmer organically certified farmer? Or is that farmer अनऑर्गेनिक फार्मर, अगर वो ऑर्गेनिक फार्मर नहीं है तो आखिरी में एप्पल ऑर्गेनिक कैसे हो गया? तो इवन फॉर सप्लाई चेन ऑडिटिंग blockchain could be used because we have all the previous transaction details. Okay, this is what is known as blockchain and its applications in various sectors. Intellectual property को protect करना है. There are various ways in which intellectual property could be protected. Suppose I write a book today on a particular issue. I put it on blockchain. Someone else would write that book and would put it on blockchain. We would know that किसने पहले लिखा है. We would very well know that किसने पहले लिखा है. अभी what has happened? चलो अभी I'll not say it on camera. At the end of the class I'll tell you कि कैसे piracy हो रहा है हमारे notes का. Where people are claiming कि it's their notes. Proudly. मैंने कहा इतना space ना जीवन में नहीं पढ़ा होगा तुमने. तो that would not have happened if it was there on blockchain from Santosh's account. No one would be able to cheat there because you see the transaction, when did it happen, वो वाली चीजें. In that way it is useful, but also like it can provide, if let's say a CD, a movie CD was there, उसके transactions भी हम blockchain पे store कर रहे हैं, तो chances that that CD would be used for piracy would also reduce. कहाँ से कहाँ गया, कहाँ से कहाँ गया, it was there. So it can be used in this area. Anti money laundering. How? बैंक से पैसे जब ट्रांजैक्ट हो रहे हैं, ब्लॉकचेन इससे यहाँ पे जा रहा है, इससे यहाँ पे जा रहा है, इससे यहाँ पे जा रहा है, इससे यहाँ पे जा रहा है. प्रॉपर डेटाबेस, कैन इट बी यूज्ड फॉर डीलिंग विथ एंटी मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्टिविटीज? यस. चेंजिंग द नेचर ऑफ ओनरशिप ऑफ एसेट्स एंड मैनेजिंग टाइटल्स. लाइक यू वांट टू बाय अ लैंड. सपोज दैट लैंड का फ्यूचर ट्रांजैक्शन ब्लॉकचेन पे है. नाउ it would be on block. You can go to that land का future transaction to understand who has the ownership. जिसको मैं 1 करोड़ रुपए देने जा रहा हूं उसके पास ओनरशिप है भी या नहीं है. और दिस लैंड, इस लैंड पे यहां से पहले क्या था, लेक था जहां पे नीचे कभी भी दब सकता है. I would be able to know these things which would benefit me. So blockchain has this kind of thousands of application. It is going to be something big, it is going to be something huge. That is why recently in May 2020, World Economic Forum came up with the Bills of Right. Blockchain Bill of Rights, I'm sorry, the Blockchain Bill of Rights. That is, through this Blockchain Bill of Rights, जैसे हमें फंडामेंटल राइट्स, ह्यूमन राइट्स दिए जाते हैं ना, थ्रू ब्लॉकचेन बिल ऑफ राइट्स, it is trying to create some principles based on which applications which are being developed or the applications which are being developed using blockchain should be respecting those principles. जैसे ह्यूमन राइट्स रेस्पेक्ट करना होता है ना सबको, ऐसे ही blockchain bill of rights basically is saying that when you are building an application, when you are using blockchain, you should respect these rights of individuals. Blockchain Bill of Rights is this. Now, this is important for two. This particular topic is important for two reasons. One, World Economic Forum ने ये publish किया तो pre में आ सकता है. But more importantly, this tells you how significant is blockchain. How much impactful would it be in different sectors? That World Economic Forum had to come up with Bill of Rights. It did not come up with Bill of Rights for cryptography. It did not come up with, because इसके एप्लीकेशंस ना बहुत सारे सेक्टर्स में होने वाले हैं. गवर्नमेंट कैन स्टार्ट यूजिंग इट, प्राइवेट सेक्टर कैन स्टार्ट यूजिंग इट, एनीवन कैन स्टार्ट यूजिंग इट एंड सिंप्लीफाई वेरियस थिंग्स. Okay, so this Bill of Rights by World Economic Forum is saying aims to help in protecting user rights in the development of blockchain applications. It is creating foundational value for decentralized futures. ब्लॉकचेन इज गिविंग यू अ डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड स्ट्रक्चर जहां पे गवर्नमेंट का रोल, एक सेंट्रलाइज्ड अथॉरिटी का रोल रिड्यूस होगा. तो इन दैट डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड फ्यूचर, व्हाट शुड बी द की प्रिंसिपल वैल्यूज दैट शुड बी रेस्पेक्टेड, दैट शुड बी टेकन केयर ऑफ, इज बीइंग डिस्कस्ड हियर, इज बीइंग टेकन केयर ऑफ हियर. ओके, नाउ व्हाट आर द, देयर आर 16 राइट्स मेंशन्ड इन दिस बिल ऑफ राइट्स. Those are divided into 4 broad categories: transparency and accessibility, This transparency and accessibility basically would talk about कि जो यूजर एक पर्टिकुलर एप्लीकेशन को यूज करना चाह रहा है, that user should understand the extent to which his data would be exposed, what is the purpose of that application, what are the threats, what are the benefits, those kind of things. Privacy and security, यूजर का डेटा जो भी यूज करेगा ब्लॉकचेन का, उसका डेटा प्रोटेक्टेड रहना चाहिए. एजेंसी एंड इंटरऑपरेबिलिटी, एजेंसी मींस I should have control over my own data. Interoperability, the application which is being created, it should be interoperable with other similar kind of systems. Accountability and governance, which covers rights of system users to understand, avail various resources which are available. तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन के लिए, समझो वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम ने पब्लिश किया है, ये 4 ब्रॉड पिलर्स हैं, ये दोनों चीजें समझनी है. इफ यू वांट टू लुक एट ऑल द 16 rights which have been mentioned in this bill of rights, हमें ह्यूमन राइट्स तो सारे पता नहीं होते, बिल ऑफ राइट्स, ब्लॉकचेन बिल ऑफ राइट्स 16 याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट स्टिल इफ यू वांट टू रीड इट वंस, इट हैज बीन प्रोवाइडेड हियर. ओके, नाउ विल गो टू क्रिप्टोकरेंसीज. Because blockchain for the first time became popularly used for Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency. Okay, so what is cryptocurrency? I mean, forget Bitcoin. We'll go to Bitcoin later. Let us understand first what is cryptocurrency. देखो, is rupee a cryptocurrency? Rupee is not a cryptocurrency because rupee that exists, whether it is authentic or not, it is ensured by the printing mechanism and all. It's not ensured by cryptography, right? तो cryptocurrency क्या होता है? Cryptocurrency is digital currency first of all, because the moment it becomes physical, उसका authenticity verify करने के लिए cryptography would not be useful because it's physical. Cryptography comes into play in the digital field. तो cryptocurrency first of all will be digital. तो रुपए, देखो रुपए का हम डिजी फॉर्म में भी यूज करते हैं, हम अपने अकाउंट से दूसरे के अकाउंट में पैसे ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं बिफोर विदाउट फिजिकली ट्रांसफरिंग इट, तो रुपी का डिजिटल फॉर्म में भी अवेलेबल. बट क्रिप्टोकरेंसी इज हैज टू बी कंप्लीटली डिजिटल. वन, इट विल बी कंप्लीटली डिजिटल, एंड टू, इट इज प्रोटेक्टेड. इट यूजेस एनक्रिप्शन टेक्नोलॉजी टू मेक इट सिक्योर. इट यूजेस एनक्रिप्शन टेक्नोलॉजी टू मेक इट सिक्योर. बात समझ में आई? In general, I'm talking any cryptocurrency. A currency will say that it's a cryptocurrency because it's completely digital and it is using cryptography to make it secure. Physical currency, you can make it secure by keeping it in pocket. You will not give it to anyone. But you have stored some cryptocurrencies in your machine, digital currency in your machine. If you are not protecting it using cryptography and all, anyone can steal it. So there. So did you understand what cryptocurrencies are? Cryptocurrency is a form of digital cash which uses encryption technology to make it secure. Since this is completely digital system, it does not exist in physical form. Okay, so tomorrow, let's say Mayur creates another cryptocurrency and calls it Mayur. What would you call your cryptocurrency? कुछ भी, विजन लाओ. मयूर रुपया नहीं, चलो मारू. Mayur calls his cryptocurrency Maru. Mayur creates cryptocurrency. और इसके 10 कॉइन, मतलब 100 कॉइन्स आर अवेलेबल. फॉर सिंप्लीफिकेशन पर्पस, लेट्स से 100 कॉइन्स ऑफ Maru are available. Coins, not the physical coin, the digital coins are available. Right? This digital coin will need to go on some database. This will need to go on some database. This will have to, like, Mayur can have a centralized system. Mayur can say, these 100 currencies, 100 coins are with me right now. I will always have the record who has it. The coin 1 is with this person, coin 2 is with this person, coin 3 is with this person, but that is available in my centralized database. This will be problematic. Not a lot of people would be interested in using it. Why does he create a currency? Initially, he owned all the money. Okay, so generally in cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrencies that are being created, they are being managed through blockchain. And the database which is used to manage cryptocurrency is blockchain. We understand what blockchain is? A distributed database. So cryptocurrency, a currency that will use for making transactions, are generally using blockchain based database for management. Okay, now records of cryptocurrency transactions have to be stored in a secure database. Blockchain serves the role of incorruptible ledger for most of the cryptocurrencies. Plus blockchain वो distribution वाला advantage भी दे देता है. Now let us understand two different types of cryptocurrency, Bitcoins and Libra. Okay, Libra is now being called Dime, like a new name has come, we'll talk about that. But let us understand two different kinds of cryptocurrencies. One is Bitcoin, other is Libra. Bitcoin, देखो हमें digital currency create करना है. But one, we have to understand that when Mayur created 100 coins, it should be very secure. It should not be something like I can create a lot of fake such coins. मैं millions of Maru create कर दूं. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. So what has Bitcoin done? What has Bitcoin done? Bitcoin is based on mathematics. So Bitcoin is based on mathematics means Bitcoins is based on a system. Bitcoin system is such that people will solve mathematical problems. And by solving those mathematical problems, after solving those mathematical problems, they would be able to mine a coin. So in the Bitcoin system, there are around 21 million Bitcoins which can be completely mined. There are 21 million Bitcoins which can be mined, and the mining occurs after solving certain mathematical problems. So there are lots of people who have bought a lot of processing power and are mining Bitcoins. वो day to day Bitcoin ही mine कर रहे हैं. That is, they are solving those mathematical problems and they are mining the Bitcoin. Once the Bitcoin is mined, let's say पहला Bitcoin mine हुआ, what happens after that? In the blockchain system, I am the user. User 1 के पास पहला Bitcoin आ गया. दूसरा Bitcoin mine हुआ, user 7 के पास दूसरा Bitcoin आ गया. In this way, on the blockchain, these transactions would be put. So the blockchain is becoming the database using which the transactions are taking place. Now, suppose ये Bitcoin mine हो गए. Now if Amazon says that I'm selling this shirt in 1 Bitcoin, Amazon is accepting Bitcoin as currency. So its acceptability increases. I have mined that Bitcoin, I can use that Bitcoin for purchasing, or I can use the Bitcoin for selling things. I'll say I'll sell my phone if someone transfers 10 Bitcoin in my account. So whether Bitcoin would be used for transaction or not, it will depend on its acceptability by people. And its acceptability will depend on a lot of things. First, security, how secure the Bitcoin is. Bitcoin system is saying that maximum 21 million Bitcoin could be created. But if that system was not foolproof and एक hacker बगल में बैठा होता, 21 million Bitcoins, I'll add some more Bitcoins. I'll create some more Bitcoins for myself. If the system was not that secure, people would not have gone for using that thing. So this is one way. Bitcoin is one example of cryptocurrency where 21 million Bitcoins would be created by solving mathematical problems. With every Bitcoin, the problem becomes more difficult. Those Bitcoins will go in the database with जो हर यूजर के साथ allocated होगा कि this user has this much bitcoin, this user has this much bitcoin, this user has this much bitcoin. That will be the system. And once the acceptability of bitcoin increases, people can use this bitcoin for day-to-day transactions. Now, who controls bitcoin? Is there a country, is there an individual who's controlling it? No. Blockchain pe hai. I want to transfer some money to a friend in USA. Right now I have money in rupee, it has to be converted in dollar, it has to be transferred to that person's account. There are lots of intermediaries. Blockchain reduced all that. I can transfer bitcoin from my user ID to that friend's user ID immediately. It can become a global currency. What is needed? Nothing. मेरे पास अगर bitcoins हैं, I can transfer it to my friend. That is the purpose. Why so many different currencies? Why so many different systems? Why not a global system? Everyone transact based on that system. This is Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is worth 100 rupees or 1000 rupees or 10,000 rupees will be decided by the demand of Bitcoin. The value of Bitcoin will be decided by demand of Bitcoin, because there is no inherent value of Bitcoin. Bitcoin by itself does not have any value. Bitcoin by itself is just a computer program, a software. It doesn't have any value. Its value will depend on, if more and more people would keep using it, value would be high. If less number of people would use it, value would be low. Understand it. Whereas another cryptocurrency which is being created is Libra. ये Facebook create कर रहा है, Facebook in association with a number of other organizations. There they are saying the cryptocurrencies which are being created, which are protected by, which would be on blockchain system, which will be protected by cryptography, but its value, one Libra, its value would be backed by assets that they will create. So they will have a number of foreign currencies, they'll have some other assets, और उसके बदले में they will release some cryptocurrency. And the value of one Libra will be determined by asset backing it. In case of Bitcoin, the value was decided by demand supply of Bitcoin. In case of Libra, the value will be decided by the asset backing it. In case of Bitcoin, the number of Bitcoins are limited, 21 million. The Bitcoin system has ensured that 21 million Bitcoin. In case of Libra, they will allocate some more money for the system and they would release more coin. They say RBI can release more money. In the same way, their Libra would be able to release more money after having. But through that, they are creating a currency which will be usable globally. जैसे आप अभी WhatsApp पे messages कर सकते हो and transfer message as easily. In the same way, in that simple way, you will be able to transfer Libra, a cryptocurrency. Okay, so ये slight differences थे. We'll look at the differences in more detail, but let's quickly go through Bitcoins. Bitcoin was in news recently because recently the value of one Bitcoin has jumped a lot. Like वो $48,000 से ऊपर हो गया because Elon Musk, the founder of SpaceX and the Tesla and all, he has announced that Tesla would be investing $1.5 billion in the cryptocurrency. It will be investing 1.5 billion, that is, it will be buying cryptocurrency worth this. तो इससे क्या हो ना, a lot of people are thinking that if Tesla is investing so much, in future it will have a lot of scope. So we should also have these Bitcoins, and that's why the value of Bitcoins have increased a lot. Now, so Bitcoin क्या है? It's a cryptocurrency. Bitcoin are not printed, Bitcoin are digital, Bitcoin are managed on a blockchain database. वो सारी चीजें हमें समझ में आ गई. Who has created Bitcoins? It's not clear yet. Satoshi Nakamoto, this name has come on web platform on a number of occasions that this person or has created it, but who's this person? ये सारी चीजें हमें पता नहीं है. There are limited number of Bitcoins which will be generated in the Bitcoin system. 21 million Bitcoins हैं. Each Bitcoin can further be divided into 100 millionth of a Bitcoin, and that smallest unit is called Satoshi. ऐसे संतोषी से सातोशी याद रख सकते हो. What is Bitcoin based on? It's based on mathematics. Mining will depend on solving of mathematical problem. With solving of every problem, the problem is becoming more difficult and mining Bitcoin is becoming more difficult. What are the advantages of using Bitcoin? If we all start using Bitcoin, it's a decentralized system. Decentralized system matlab no one controlling it. Everyone who owns Bitcoin owns that Bitcoin, can transact that Bitcoin to anyone who has a Bitcoin account. Easy, fast setup. If I have to create a Bitcoin account, I'll go online and I'll create a Bitcoin account. I do not have to give my KYC and what drama that happens with the bank. It protects my privacy, anonymity. अकाउंट 1 से 10 बिटकॉइन ट्रांसफर हुए अकाउंट 2 में. Who owns account 1? किसी को नहीं पता. No one can, like right now if I transfer some money to let's say a friend somewhere else, the bank would know this money was transferred by this individual to this individual. वो privacy नहीं है, anonymity नहीं है. It's completely transparent. You can exactly know इस account से कितने पैसे कहाँ गए because it's on blockchain. ये account किसका ये नहीं पता, तो anonymity है, privacy भी है, but it's also ensuring transparency. Then ट्रांजेक्शन फी बहुत कम होगा, यहाँ बैंक और ये सब इन्वॉल्व नहीं होंगे तो मिनिस्कल होगा. इट विल बी फास्ट, इट इज नॉन रिप्यूडिएबल. अच्छा, इट शुड बी वन ऑफ द लिमिटेशंस, नॉन रिप्यूडिएबल इन द सेंस once you have transferred Bitcoin to someone, you cannot claim it back unless the other person wants to transfer it back. You cannot claim it back. So this should have been limitation, but there are some challenges, some limitations also of Bitcoin. One is its acceptance is limited right now. With countries like China and India banning it, this acceptance is further on the lower side. Then if you lose your wallet, digital wallet where you have stored the digital currency Bitcoin, you lose everything. Value of Bitcoin is very volatile. Elon Musk ने खरीद लिया तो प्राइस बहुत बढ़ गए. Initially in $30-40 you could get one Bitcoin. Now its value is $40,000 $50,000. There is no grievance redressal. आपने पैसे किसी के अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर किए, उसने वो सर्विस नहीं दी, यू कुड हैव क्लेम्ड दैट मुझे सर्विस नहीं मिली, मुझे पैसे वापस दिलाओ. बट इन केस ऑफ बिटकॉइन यू आर ट्रांसफरिंग दैट बिटकॉइन इन सम अकाउंट. किसका अकाउंट है वो सारी चीजें नहीं है, तो ग्रीवेंस रिड्रेसल नहीं है. रिस्क ऑफ अननोन टेक्निकल फ्लॉज. व्हाई इज बिटकॉइन फंक्शनिंग? एवरीवन इज बिलीविंग दैट द सिस्टम इज फूल प्रूफ. व्हाट इफ टुमारो समवन इज एबल टू फाइंड अ फ्लॉ इन द सिस्टम and modify the number of bitcoins or flaw in the system and transfer everything in her or his personal account? There's a built-in deflation in Bitcoin. What is built-in deflation? See, initially one Bitcoin was worth $30, but because number of Bitcoins are limited, with the increase in demand of Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin will go up, and thus the value of product. Earlier in $30, let's say you were buying a t-shirt. In one Bitcoin you are buying a t-shirt. Now in one Bitcoin you can buy 10,000 t-shirts. तो deflation हो गया. One Bitcoin से you could buy only one t-shirt. पहले ₹1 में एक टी-शर्ट ले सकते थे, पर अब ₹1 में 40,000 टी-शर्ट ले पा रहे हो. क्या हुआ? Deflation बोलेंगे इसे. Prices of things have gone down. So it has built-in deflation. As it becomes more popular, the value of other things would go down. No physical form. Then another issue is extremely high processing power requirements. Right now Bitcoin का जो blockchain system है, it is consuming as much energy as is being consumed by the whole country of Argentina. Why? See, Bitcoin is on blockchain. One, so for every transaction on millions of computers, that transaction has to happen. That is one thing. Second is Bitcoin which is being mined, those are mined solving some mathematical problems. So a lot of processing power throughout the world has been dedicated for mining of Bitcoin. So overall the Bitcoin system is using a lot of transactions. Bitcoin system is using a lot of electricity. कितना electricity? Almost एक पूरा country अर्जेंटीना जितना electricity use कर रहा है उतना Bitcoin system electricity use कर रहा है. So it's not green form. Then anonymity was an advantage, but anonymity can be a problem also. Terrorists can keep transferring money from one person to another and keep getting involved in these activities. So these are some concerns. Okay, नाउ बिटकॉइन के पीछे कोई इनहेरेंट वैल्यू नहीं था, बिटकॉइन का वैल्यू वाज डिटरमाइंड बाय इट्स डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, बट फेसबुक इज कमिंग अप विथ अनदर क्रिप्टो करेंसी दैट इज लिब्रा, उसका नाम अभी बदल के डाइम भी कर दिया गया, DIEM. What now? How is डाइम और लिब्रा डिफरेंट फ्रॉम बिटकॉइन, ये समझ लेते हैं पहले. First of all, what was the purpose of getting Libra? Like, what was the need of creating Libra? Facebook says that हमें एक global currency बनाना है. Global currency which anyone should be able to use it throughout the world. जैसे Bitcoin, anyone is able to use it throughout the world, but Bitcoin is associated with some limitations, जैसे volatility and all. Let us create Libra. Now, you would need a bank to issue Libra. जैसे currency issue होता है तो you need a bank. So here they have created this Libra association. This Libra association will have a lot of reserve money. On the backing of this reserve money, they will be releasing the currency Libra. So if they have $100 billion of cash with them, they'll keep that cash in their account, and उसके बदले $100 billion worth Libra coins would be released. Idea is using those Libra coins, which is a digital coin, मतलब physical circular coin मत सोचो. The people should be able to transact very easily. A lot of people are out of banking sector. They cannot use, they do not have bank accounts and all, but they can always they use WhatsApp. In the same way, they will be able to use digital currency like Libra. तो जो formal banking sector के benefits नहीं मिल पा रहे हैं, वो using Libra, Facebook is saying it would be able to provide. So Libra is another currency which is blockchain based, so it is incorruptible, it's a cryptocurrency, cryptography use हो रहा है उसे secure बनाने के लिए, all those features are there. The only different thing is how many coins would be released. In case of Bitcoin, 21 million Bitcoin based on solving of mathematical problems would be released. Here, number of coins and all those things would be backed by the amount of money that they have in their, let's say, central bank. मैं उसे नाम central bank बोल देता हूँ Libra association को. Okay, so when you will compare stability in value, Libra will be more stable in value, because Bitcoin, if some country bans it, its value would go down, otherwise it would go up. Libra would have more stable value because it is backed by some physical asset. So if I have given $1 for Libra, I would know that Facebook has also kept $1 for it, right? So Libra's value is not going to deteriorate. Second, Libra is backed by assets, whereas Bitcoin will be backed by the trust in the system. More and more people are using Bitcoin, more and more people would trust it. Users, अभी के Bitcoin के बहुत कम users हैं, but जो Libra है, Libra का जो association है, which is creating Libra, it includes companies like Lyft, Uber, Spotify, Visa, etc., जिनके पास बहुत सारे consumers हैं. And if they all start using Libra once it's created, its applications would be huge. Then Bitcoin is completely decentralized. There is no control. यहाँ पे भी control, मतलब because it will be on blockchain, it will be secure, but there's a Libra association. How many Bitcoins would go? वो सारे controls रहेंगे. These are some basic differences between Libra and this thing. When we come to cryptocurrencies in India, अच्छा, by the way, earlier Facebook was planning, or the Libra association was planning, that they will release a composite digital currency in the form of Libra, which will be backed by dollar, euros, and other bonds and all those things. But they were also planning to release individual currencies for every currency, like dollar backed by एक डॉलर के लिए डिजिटल करेंसी, यूरो backed by यूरो के लिए डिजिटल करेंसी. But after opposition from various central banks, now they are only planning to launch a composite digital currency, and they have renamed it as DIME. तो अभी recently news में इस purpose के लिए था. After concerns raised by regulator over its plans to create one synthetic coin backed by basket of assets, the association would now initially just launch a single coin backed one by the dollar. तो initially dollar backed एक single coin launch करेंगे. The other currencies and the composite would be rolled out at later point. DIME is the new name of Facebook's cryptocurrency. The project will be a stripped down version of the original plan of लिब्रा। तो ये फैक्चुअल प्री के लिए भी चीजें याद रखनी चाहिए। नाउ cryptocurrencies in India. Are cryptocurrencies allowed in India? They're allowed. देखो cryptocurrencies were before 2018 it was allowed. We were not using it, but if I wanted to buy Bitcoin, I was not prohibited from doing it. Then in 2018, in April 2018, RBI regulates what? RBI regulates the financial sector, banks. It gave a notification saying that you do not deal with anyone who's dealing in cryptocurrencies. So if I'm dealing with cryptocurrencies, bank will not be dealing with me. So in this way, indirectly, use of cryptocurrency was banned in the country. Because if I have to buy cryptocurrency, I'll have to transfer some money from my bank account to another person's account from whom I'm buying cryptocurrency. But RBI asked banks, do not deal with those people who are dealing with cryptocurrencies, who are dealing in bitcoins. So indirectly it was banned. Indirectly bitcoins was banned. But in 2020, in March 2020, Supreme Court struck down the order of RBI. Supreme Court said that your circular was disproportionate. एकदम blanket ban कर देना. When using Bitcoin is not illegal in the country. Virtual currencies are not prohibited in the country. When virtual currencies are not prohibited in the country, why are you asking bank to not deal with it? Either virtual currencies should be prohibited by government. If it has not happened, you don't do it. And you have not even suggested another alternative. So a stay on the April 2018 RBI notification was brought by Supreme Court. But yesterday, government has announced a draft bill. That is, it will be coming up with a new law which will be banning all kind of private cryptocurrencies, and it will also be providing a framework for central bank based cryptocurrency, RBI based cryptocurrency. ओके तो ये अभी सिचुएशन है कंट्री में. इससे पहले एक और चीज, लाइक व्हेन इट कम्स टू क्रिप्टो करेंसी सिचुएशन इन इंडिया, यू शुड आल्सो नो अबाउट सुभाष चंद्र गर्ग कमिटी, इंटरमिनिस्ट्रियल कमिटी व्हिच वाज हेडेड बाय सुभाष चंद्र गर्ग. इट गेव इट्स रिपोर्ट इन 2019 एंड इट आल्सो कॉल्ड फॉर ban of all kind of private cryptocurrencies and RBI creating its own currency. At the same time, it also said that we are saying that ban cryptocurrencies, but blockchains are important. Because blockchain is not only about cryptocurrency. हमने देखा blockchain के बहुत सारे applications हैं. तो it recommended potential of distributed ledger technology. Blockchain क्या है? Distributed ledger technology है. Distributed ledger technology and blockchain. It recommended Department of Economic Affairs to take necessary measure to facilitate the use of DLT. It also recommended regulators, RBI, SEBI, IRDA, PFRDA, IBBI to explore evolving appropriate regulation for development of DLT in their respective areas. तो DLT blockchain को यूज करना है अलग अलग एरियाज में, बट प्राइवेट क्रिप्टो करेंसीज को बैन करने की बात इन्होंने कही थी. क्यों? क्योंकि प्राइवेट क्रिप्टो करेंसीज आर एसोसिएटेड विद अ नंबर ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स. वी हैव लुक्ड एट द प्रॉब्लम्स व्हिच मे बी एसोसिएटेड विद बिटकॉइंस. ओके, नाउ we'll come to supercomputers later. Let's first solve some questions. Question number 8. Consider the following statements about blockchain. मयूर से शुरू करते हैं. मयूर, consider the following statements about blockchain. Blockchain technology is only useful for cryptocurrencies? नहीं. Blockchain can be used in a number of areas. One is wrong. It is a centralized ledger which is highly secure. Wrong. क्यों wrong है? Decentralized है. तो 2 भी गलत है. Blockchain has the potential to play an important role in anti-money laundering efforts by government of India. Yes. So what is the answer here? A होगा. Incorrect पूछा है. Which of the following is incorrect? The answer would be A. 1 and 2 are incorrect. Come to question number 9. With reference to Bitcoin, sometimes seen in recent news, which of the following statement is are correct? Okay, Bitcoin से related क्या correct है? Now this is a past year question. It was asked in the preliminary examination once. Kapish. First is wrong. Bitcoins are tracked by central banks of countries. No. Distributed है, कोई central bank role play नहीं कर रहा. Anyone with Bitcoin address can send and receive Bitcoin from anyone else with a Bitcoin address. Yes. Anyone who has Bitcoin address can send or receive from anyone. Online payment can be sent without either side knowing the identity of the other. Yes. Anonymity है. आपको Bitcoin address चाहिए किसी का भी. You do not need to know the other person's details. Okay. So answer would be B, 2 and 3. Question number 9 का answer B. Question number 10. With reference to cryptocurrencies, what is our differences between Bitcoin and Libra? First statement देखते हैं. Bitcoin is not backed by any other currency, whereas Libra will be backed by reserve of assets such as real world bank deposit, government securities, etc. Yes, one is correct. Bitcoin is based on the blockchain technology. Libra will not use blockchain. Wrong. Libra is also would be using blockchain. Libra's value will be less fluctuating than Bitcoin's value, as Libra's value will be tied to established currencies. Yes. D, answer would be D, 1 and 3. Question number 11. Consider the following statements about recommendation of Subhash Chandra Garg committee on the viability of cryptocurrencies in India. Cryptocurrency कितना viable रहेगा? Committee has recommended complete ban on all types of cryptocurrencies. All types of private. It has recommended that RBI should come into play. Na? One is wrong. All types nahi, only private cryptocurrencies are banned. It has recommended RBI to come up with its own cryptocurrency. The committee has recommended that the financial regulators to evolve regulation for development of distributed ledger technology in the respective areas. Yes, it has recommended that. It has asked RBI and all other regulators that you promote the use of DLT. So what would be the answer? 2 only. B. Answer would be B, 2 only. Question number 11. See, it may appear to be very factual, but it's not factual. हमें पता होना चाहिए कि जनरल पॉलिसी स्टेप्स क्या रहे हैं बैन करेंसीज और बैन क्रिप्टोकरेंसीज, वो जनरल पॉलिसी स्टेप्स रहे हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 12. अच्छा, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स का आ गया है. चलिए, शुड वी स्टॉप हियर टुडे? Okay, we'll stop here today. Tomorrow we'll continue with this. I'll also provide you second booklet on computer and IT. Okay.